So today we're going to be going over or learning about Lenape time expressions. So in this lesson, we're going to learn how to ask about the date, and we're also going to learn how to give the date using the formula day or month of week plus month plus lakim quasit, which means date, plus yukishu, and it will also go over some traditional Lenape ways of giving how many days something was, but just traditionally done by nights, the amount of nights that something happened. And we'll also talk about years and days of the week and months. So the date or the time of the year is called lakim quasit. Lakim quasit. Alright? Lakim quasit. Lakim quasit. An example of this is, this sentence means, it's cold today. February is the time of, February is, like, you should put I forgot to put a date right here, but February is the day of the year. So you could say February 28th is the day of the year. February, yeah. Is time of the year. So if you want to express, or if you want to ask me what is this month's or this week's or even today's date, you would say keku. Keku means what? It means what? And it's generally used for, it can mean other things as well, but it usually means what. And it also means what is. So hetch is a question particle. You could say hetch or you could say hutch. And I'm told that there's other question particles, but I have not gotten an explanation on this yet. So once I get an explanation on this, I can start using those other particles. But for the most part, what I've seen in the Talking Lenape dictionary, most of the time when questions are asked, I've always seen it as hutch or hetch. So we're just going to go with that. So keku, and this is also what was in the dictionary anyway, for what is today's date. Okay? So you can mean this. It also can mean of this. So in Lenape, to express the genitive or to say the month of the blah blah or the blah blah of the blah blah, you just simply add the noun after another noun, and it means that of the, right, or that's that, something like that. So you could say, like, this month's day. You could just say kishku, or kishu. Kishku is day, and kishu is month. And other types of Lenape, other variants of Lenape use a different word for week. But in Unami, which is the most used and the most common dialect or variety, week is the same in English as this and that. So kishu is the month and kishku is the day. So it can be a little bit confusing at first to use this, because kishku and kishu sound so similar to one another. But with enough time, you'll understand the difference between them, because one has a h and the other doesn't. One's a k and the other is a h. So keku hech lakim quasit. What is the date? Kishu, this month's date, right? So date this month. So this is a little bit different, but it's fine. So keku hech lakim quasit. Keku hech lakim quasit. Kishu. What is this month? What is this month? So you could say, like, what is this month's time? Right? And then you could say something like, I believe Pohet. Yeah. Pukswit kishu. And honestly, we probably don't even need to use kishu after these, because the months are already really long for some of them. So if you kishu is just if you're speaking and you want to distinguish it from something else, then that's fine. Like poke sweet. If you're talking about something is broken, but then you want to say that it happened in October, for example, like you broke something in October, then yeah, you might want to use kishu after poke sweet. But otherwise, I don't think that there's a reason to use kishu after them if the context, if you're talking about dates and you say like keku hech lakim kwasit yo kishu, and you could say something like Yukishu Huini. This month is November. So you means this, and then Kishu is month. So you lakim kwasit Weenie Kishu. That's next month. And Lenape actually has a very interesting way of saying the past month or past week or past anything and the future something. So it's like one is unke, you put the unke, like NKE, like unke at the end of a word, and the other one is like, it's like, I have to go back and look at it. I have it on my website where I made a list of common adjectives for this language, and I have it in that file. So I would have to go back and look at that to know, but I didn't include it in this because I didn't think it would be important. But that is something that we should visit in the future. So, lakim kwasit. Okay. Keku hech, lakim kwasit, week. What is this week's date? And then you could say something like, Yukwe into Kishkwik today, or you could just say Yukwe, which means now. So Yukwe into Kishkwik. Yukwe into Kishkwik. Pook sweet Kishku. Or pook sweet Kishu. And today is Sunday. So Sunteke. So you could say, what is the date today? Or what day of the week is it today? Keku hech lakim kwasit week. Yukwe inda kishkwik. Sunteke kishku. Sunteke. Today is Sunday. So you would just say Yukwe into Kishkwik today. Yukwe into Kishkwik. Sunteke. Today is Sunday. And the numbers are a little bit Ningre? Yeah, Ningre, I'm pretty sure is 20. Give me 1 second. Okay, so that would be Nishinke. So if we're looking at the numbers right here from an oldie that I made a long time ago, this is all verified, so everything in here is correct for the most part, I think. But if you look at this Nishinake or Nishinke. So if we want to say that today is the 12th, but I was saying 20 because I think it was thinking about a future event that I want to go to. You could say Kekohech, you could say, you want to say what is the date of that event, right? You could say something like Kekule literally means like an event, something that happens, because le is the word for something that is. It means so it is or something. Like lowi, altalowi is it is not so. Le is it is so. And le can also mean time as well. So keku hech lakim kosit you kekule. When is that? When is the date of that event? Right. If I want to say like the state fair starts on the 20th, right? Which it starts before that, but if we want to say the 20th, it starts on the 20th. You could say lakim kwasit you kekule nishinake, right? So you remember nishinke or nishinake, because nisha is two. Nisha means two, and the inke nishinke, right? Nishinke puksweet kishur. Puksweet kishur. Let's see how the natives say it, because I personally have a little bit of trouble. I'm having a little bit of trouble with this myself. See how the native speakers say it. I'm glad they have this.
Puksit kishur.
Puksit kishur.
Puksit kishur.
Kishur. Puksit. Puksit.
Puksit kishur.
Yeah, puksit kishur.
Puksit day.
Puksit kishur. Okay. So puksit kishur. Right, so keku hech lakim kosit you kishur. Keku hech lakim kosit you kishur. What is today's date? Telun ok nisha 12, because telun is 10. If you go back to here, you can see telun is 10. So telun ok is and telun ok nisha. Okay, so Yukwe intakishquik lakim kwasit. Today's date. Yukwe intakishquik lakim kwasit. Telun ok nisha puksweet kishuch. Telun. Okay, so we'll go through that. So Yukwe intakishquik today's date, Yukwe entakishquik, lakim kwasit. Telun ok nisha, puksit kishur. That's today's date, is the 12th of October. Now, saying a whole year, saying like 2000 this or something, we can say that. We would say nishen tachapki. We could say nishen tachapki. Yeah, tachapki, because I haven't memorized really anything beyond like up to 20 basically. I'm still saying Ningtche for this, and that's a different dialect. So nishinke ok palenach. So palenach is 5. So nishen tachapki nishinke ok. Yeah, nishinke ok palenach. So that's 2025. So if we want to say now keku hech lakim kwasit yu kishku. What is today's date? Yuque inta kishkuik, or yuque lakim kwasit. Lakim. Sorry, let me start that again. Yuque lakim kwasit. Today's date. Yuque lakim kwasit. And then we want to say the 12th of October. Telun ok nisha pukswit kishuch. And then the year, Nishan 2, like 2000. Nishan Techapki. Nishan Techapki. Techapki. Okay. Techapki. Nishan Techapki. Nishan Techapki. Nishinke. We'll go back and say 2025. Okay, so Nishan Techapki. Okay, Techapki. Nishinke ok Palenok. Okay, so that means today's date is October 12th, 2025. Okay. And we know that Sundake is Sunday. Alright. Keku hech lakim kosit. Yukishuch. And now we'll say Monday. Okay. Monday is Manteke. So I'll ask you, what day of the week is it? And I want you to say that today, Yuque lakim kwasit. Okay? Yuque lakim kwasit, today's date is Monday. Or today is Monday. So you could just say, Yuque manteke. Kekuhech lakim kwasit. You week. Kekuhech lakim kwasit. You week. Kekuhech lakim kwasit you week. Now you respond, today is Monday. Today is Monday. Today is Monday. So today, Yuque or Yuque inta kishqueak. Yuque inta kishqueak manteke. Yuque inta kishqueak manteke. Okay? Manteke. Alright? Now we have Sunteke. Okay, Sunday. We have Manteke. Monday. And now Tuesday. Tusteke. Okay? Tusteke. So now I'm going to ask you, what is today's date? And I want you to say that today is Tuesday. Okay? So, keko hech lakim kwasit. You week. Tusteke hech? Is it Tuesday? What is today's date? Is it Tuesday? Tusteke hech? And you can respond, Tusteke. Or yuque Tusteke. Yes, today is Tuesday. Alright, so I want to ask you, what is today's date? And I want you to say yes, or I want you to say it is Tuesday. Today. Keko hech lakim kwasit you week. Keko hech lakim kwasit yukishku. Yuque entakishqueak. Yuque tusteke. Yuque tusteke. Okay? Yuque tusteke. Now, Wednesday is going to be a little bit different because it literally means the middle of the week. It means between. So, lelai. So, let's take a listen and see how Lenape speakers would say this word because it's not your typical day of the week.
Lelai.
Ledai. Okay? So Lenape. All right. So Lenape is Wednesday. Lenape, Yuque Lenape. Alaba, tomorrow. Alaba, Lenape. So I'm going to ask you, what is today's date? Or what is the day of the week? Right? I'm going to ask you, what is the day of the week? And I want you to say, and I'm going to replace Lakinkosi with Kishku. And I'm going to say, what is the day of the week? Okay. What is the day of the week? And I want you to say, today is Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday, which is Yuque Tuesday Alaba Lelai. Yuque Tuesday Yuque Tuesday Alaba Lelai. Alaba Lelai. Okay. So Keku Hitch. Kishku. Keku Hitch. Kishku. Uik. Keku Hitch. Kishku. Uik. Keku Hitch. Kishku. Uik. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Yuque Tuesday. Yuque Tuesday. Alaba Lelai. Alaba Lelai. Okay? Alaba Lelai. Again. Yuque Tuesday. Alaba Lelai. Alaba Lelai. Okay? Now we have, so now let's say the days of the week from Sunday to Wednesday, okay? Santeke or Kentue. I think Kentue Kishku. There's another word, it means holy day, literally. But we're just gonna say Santeke, Manteke, Tuesteke, Lelai. And now let's do it backwards, okay? Lelai, Tuesteke, Manteke, Santeke. Santeke, Manteke, Tuesteke, Lelai. Now the next day of the week, Thursday, is Tosteke. Toste, yeah. Tosta. Tusta. Tustake. Tustake. Every time I see these, it's like two different vowels are so similar. I always get the vowel sounds mixed up. Tosteke. Oh wow. Okay, so that you don't have to say it like that. Tosteke. Okay. Tosteke. So yesterday is Lokoe. Okay? Lokoe is spelled like this.
Lokoe.
Okay, so the way we're gonna remember is look away at what happened yesterday. Okay? Don't forget about yesterday. Look away at what happened yesterday. Okay? Look away. If you log away from yesterday, then you look at today. Okay? Log away. Okay? Log away from yesterday. All right? So that should be a good mnemonic device to help you to jog your memory of the word. Okay? So log away. All right? So now I'm going to ask you what today's date or what the day of the week is today. And I want you to say that yesterday was Wednesday and today is Thursday. Tosteke. Okay? Tosteke and Lelai. Okay? So keku hech. Keku hech kishku uweek. Keku hech kishku uweek. What is the day of the week? Keku hech kishku uweek. Lokawe. Lokawe lelai. Yesterday was Wednesday. Lokawe lelai. Yukwe tosteke. 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 Right? Keku hech kishku uweek. Lokewe lelai. Yukwe tosteke. Yukwe tosteke. Okay. Now we can add another word, Friday. Okay. And since this is like spelled so much different from the others, I want to have a native speaker say it so I can say it correctly myself. I'm pretty sure it's politeke, but I want to make sure.
Politeke.
Politeke. Politeke. Politeke.
Politeke.
Okay. So what I want you to say now is yesterday was Wednesday. Lokoe lelai. Yukwe tosteke. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. Alapa pelaiteke. Pelaiteke. Okay. So yesterday was Wednesday. Lokoe lelai. Today is Thursday. Today is Thursday. Yukwe tosteke. Tomorrow is Friday. Alapa pelaiteke. Alapa pelaiteke. Alapa pelaiteke. Alright? So I'm going to ask you what today's date is. Alright? Keku hech kishku uweek. Yesterday was Wednesday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Lokoe lelai. Today is Thursday. Yukwe tosteke. Yukwe tosteke. Tosteke. Yukwe tosteke. Tomorrow is Friday. Alapa pelaiteke. Alapa pelaiteke. Alapa pelaiteke. Alapa pelaiteke. Okay. So now let's say all the days of the week again. Okay. From Sunday to Friday. Okay. Sunteke. Monteke. Tuesdeke. Lelai. Tosteke. Tuesdeke. Okay. Tuesdeke. Pelaiteke. Okay. Pelaiteke. And then the last one, satuteke. So we'll have a native speaker say this again because it might be a little bit different. Satuteke. Okay. Satuteke. Chinkui kekule hate. On Saturday, there's going to be a big event. Chinkui kekule. So kekule is an event. Chinkui means big. So chinkui kekule, an important event, important large event. Chinkui kekule. Satuteke. Okay. Satuteke. Satuteke hinkui kegule hatech. There will be a large event. Hatech. Satuteke. Okay. Satuteke. Babaiteke. Tosteke. Lelai. Tuesteke. Manteke. Sunteke. Okay. Sunteke. Now we still gotta go through the months here before we end this lesson. So we will do that next. There's also days and nights as well. I would like to be able to do those, but I'm not sure if there's going to be time for that. We're already at a half hour now, so let's just do what we can here. One day, Kweti Kishku, Nishu Kwene, Nahu Kwani. January, ground squirrel month, Anikusi. So, Anikusi, Shakwali, Shawanamekwi, Shawanamekwi. Tehim means strawberries. In Otaeu. See how this pronounce this word. Taeu. Otaeu.
Tehim Otaeu Kishu.
Otaeu. Okay. Otaeu. So a lot of these months, they end in bun. Or a one. And I know that Kichi means real. So the word for summer is, I have not actually studied the seasons yet. I know Sikon is, Luan is winter, Sikon is spring, summer is, not sure, Nippon. Okay, so Tai Nippon. So Talemi means, or Alemi, or Talemi means to begin. So Nippon, Tai Nippon. And then Kichi means real. So Kichi Nippon, real summer. And then midsummer, Lelai, right? Lai. So Lelai, so they take off the first syllable from Lelai. So it's Lai Nippon. And then you have corn is ripe month, Winaminke. And then the real autumn month, Takok. Takok is the autumn in Kichi, as you saw up here in Kichi Nippon is real or really. So Tai Nippon, Kichi Nippon, those are really. And then we have real, and then we have the last ones down here, real winter month. So every season has a real, except for spring. So we have real summer month, we have Kichi Nippon, we have Kichi Takok, and we have Kichi Luwan, real winter. Now, there's no real spring month, because there's begin summer month, and then there's all these other ones that have things to do with winter time. So nothing really there. But I'm gonna go ahead and break these down real quick, and then I'll restart this. So I have just broken these up to make it a little bit easier, so that it's not that difficult to learn some of these. But some of these, like Shawanamekwi, I don't know what a shad is. So we're going to look that up. The shadfish. Shadbush of Shawanamenchi. Oh, there we go. Shawanamenchi. So this is a Shawanamenchi, a shadbush. Shawanamenchi. Mekwi. That's Shawana Mekwi. Now, Shawana Mekwi or Shad month. Amek, a fish. Shawan. So, Shawana Main, Shawana Mainchi, Shawana Mekwi, March. That talks about that, and then we have this breakdown right here. Shawan is salty, so we can go back and confirm that in our dictionary here. Let's see if we can just look up the word salty and see if we get that. Shawan. So there's different words for it. Shawan. It is salty. Okay. So Shawana Mekwi, and a mekwi is a fish. So salty fish. Alosa sapidissima. So this is a type of fish. There's a shad bush which uses the same root as you saw for shad. But Shawana Mekwi is essentially it's saltfish month. Okay. So it's a type of fish, but it's a salt fish. Alright. So to make this a little bit easier, a mekwi, the word for a fish is actually a little bit different from that, I think. I'm not sure if it's like, I forget. Namix? I'm not sure. Namis. Yeah. Names, right? So it's names, and they also have names, but you also have a mek. So generally in this language, they have two different ways of saying things. You have the standalone word. So the standalone word for fish is names, right? Names, as you heard, names. And then whenever you attach a fish to something at the end, it's amek. So just know that amek is a fish, like a fish that was salty. It's essentially a salty fish month. Okay. So Chakwali is a frog, and Anikusi is a ground squirrel. Okay. Now Winaminke, I am not 100% sure what this is. Winaminke. I might be writing that wrong. Yeah. When the corn is in the milk stage. So when the corn is ripe.
Winaminge.
So when the corn is ripe. Okay. So we've been able to break down all these things. So understanding the months should be a little bit easier for you to understand now. So that should make more sense now. Okay. So we could create dates with this, but since we have very limited time left, I want to just go through the months and just be able to recite them with you, right? So we'll just do another method for learning words that I can do whenever I don't have context. So we're just going to say one at a time, and then we're going to go back and say the next one, and then we're going to add on, and then we'll add on, and then we'll keep doing that until we get to the end of the month. Okay. So just repeat them with me, and we'll practice this. Okay. So January, Anikusi Kishu. Okay. Anikusi Kishu. We can have a native speaker say this so that we can get this right away. And have them say the word for us. Oh, hold on 1 second. January. I thought that was the word. Oh, Anikusi. Okay, whoops. Anikusi. Okay. Anikusi, and Anikusi Kishu, or Anikusi. It sounds like they're saying Anikusi. Maybe that's why I wrote it that way. Okay, so Anikusi Kishu. All right, so that's January. Anikusi Kishu. Now we're gonna say February. Chikwali Kishu. Okay, frog month. All right. Anikwasi Kishu. Chikwali Kishu. All right. Anikwasi Kishu. Chikwali Kishu. Anikwasi. Chikwali. Okay. Anikwasi. Chikwali. Now we're going to add March, right? We're going to add the salty fish month, okay? Shiwan Amekwi, okay? Shiwan Amekwi, okay? Shiwan Amekwi. All right, Shiwan Amekwi. All right. So now we're going to say January, February, March, all right? Here we go. Anikusi, Chikwali, Shiwanamekwi, Anikusi, Chikwali, Shiwanamekwi. Now let's do it backwards. Shiwanamekwi, Chikwali, Anikusi. All right, Anikusi. Now we want to say that the strawberries are blossoming. The strawberries are blooming, okay? Tehim Altaeu. Altaeu. I'll let the native speaker say that because this was a little tad bit difficult for me at first. Just because there's so many vowels in it. You gotta hear their intonation.
Altaeu.
Altaeu. Okay, you hear that? Altaeu. Tehim Altaeu.
Tehim Altaeu Kishu.
Tehim Altaeu Kishu. Okay. Tehim Altaeu Kishu. Alright. Tehim Altaeu Kishu. Shawan Amekwi. Okay. Shawan Amekwi. Chikwali. Anikusi. Now we'll start again at the beginning of the year. Anikusi. Chikwali. Shawanamekwi. Tehim Altaeu. Shawanamekwi. Chikwali. Anikusi. Alright. Now we're gonna go back and then we'll start with Nippon. All of the Nippons. Alright. Anikusi. How do you say February? Chikwali Kishu. How do you say March? The salty fish. Shawanamekwi. And April, or when the strawberries bloom. Tehim Altaeu. Right, one more time. Anikusi, Chikwali, Shawanamekwi, Tehim Altaeu. Alright, and now Tai began summer month. Tai, Nippon, summer. For the next 3 words, we're going to do summer. Alright, all you got to remember is Tai, Kichi, and Lai. Tai, Kichi, and Lai. Alright, so Tai Nippon. Alright, Tehim Altaeu, Shawanamekwi, Chikwali, Anikusi. Now let's go back from January and we'll go to May. Alright. Anikusi, Chikwali Kishu, Shawanamekwi Kishu, Tehim Altaeu, Tai Nippon. Alright. Now, oh, is it really summer? Huh. Kichi Nippon Hitch. Kichi Nippon. Kichi Nippon. Alright. Kichi Nippon. Tai Nippon. Tehim Altaeu. Shawanamekwi. Chikwali. Anikusi. Alright, now we'll go back again. Anikusi. Chikwali. Shawanamekwi. Tehim Altaeu. Tai Nippon. Kichi Nippon. June. Kichi Nippon. Now, midsummer month. Remember the lie? From lelai. If you remember the word for Wednesday, lelai, you just take that first syllable le off, and now you have lie left. So lainipun. Lainipun. Right? So now we're gonna go from July back to January, and then we'll do January to July. Okay? So lainipun, kichinipun, tainipun, tehim o taeu, shewanamekwi, chkwali, anikwasi, chkwali, shewanamekwi, tehim o taeu, tainipun, kichinipun, lainipun. All right, now August. Winaminge. All right, winaminge means that the corn is ripe, literally. Winaminge. Okay. Winaminge. Lainipun. Kichinipun. Tainipun. Tehim o taeu. Shewanamekwi, chkwali, anikwasi. Okay, now we're gonna go down, and we're gonna start September now. Kichitakok. All right, now we're gonna go back from January, and we're gonna go back to August now. Anikwasi, chkwali, shewanamekwi, tehim o taeu. Tehim o taeu, tainipun, kichinipun, lainipun, winaminge, kichitakok, right? Kichitakok, winaminge, lainipun, kichinipun, tainipun, tehim o taeu, shewanamekwi, chkwali, anikwasi. All right, so kichitakok, really autumn, really fall. All right, now we're gonna go up to Puksweet Kishu, October, broken month, because summer is broken, and now you have to figure out what's gonna happen now, because autumn is breaking into, it's gotta do a pook switch, right? Spooky. It's gotta do a spooky switch from the autumn into the winter, right? So think of like pooky switch, Puksweet Kishu, Puksweet. All right, Anikwasi, chkwali, shewanamekwi, tehim o taeu, tainipun, kichinipun, lainipun, winaminge, kichitakok. All right, now a spooky switch over to the wintertime, right? Spooky switch, Puksweet. All right, Puksweet Kishu, Puksweet, Puksweet. Right, and weenie means snow. It's the adjectival form. So, weenie Kishu. That's when it begins to snow up north in their traditional lands, nations. So let's start it again. All right, we'll go from the cold back up to January, where it was cold again, and where cold meets cold, and then we're gonna go back down to November, and then we'll talk about real winter, just like real summer and real autumn, right? So weenie kishu, right? Weenie kishu, puksit, spooky switch, puksit, puksit, kichi takok, winaminge, lainipan, kichinipan, tinipan, tehim otaeyu, shawanamekwi, chikwali, aniquisi. All right, I'm gonna try to do this without looking now, right? So January, aniquisi. February, chikwali. March, shawanamekwi. April, tehim otaeyu. May, whenever summer begins, tainipan. June, real summer month, kichinipan. The middle of summer, lainipan. August, whenever the corn becomes ripe, winaminge. September, whenever autumn begins, whenever autumn or real autumn month, kichitakok kishu. All right, and then the spooky switch, puksit. All right, puksit kishu. And then November, snow month, weenie kishu. Okay, weenie kishu. And then December is the real winter. So I'm still not looking at this. Okay, so Kichi is really, and Luan is winter. So Kichi Luan. All right. So now I'm gonna do it backwards, and then I'm gonna come back again. All right. So Kichi Luan, aniquisi. Actually, I'm gonna start from the beginning. So aniquisi. February, frog month. Chikwali. March, salty fish month. Shawanamekwi. April, whenever the strawberries bloom, tehim otaeyu. May, tainipan, whenever the summer begins. Tainipan. Hold on. Yeah, tainipan. June is the real summer month, so that's kichinipan. Okay, kichinipan. The middle of summer, right? Lelai, you take the l off lelai. Okay, so between summer months, literally. Lainipan. And then August, winaminge, whenever the corn becomes ripe. Winaminge. Okay, winaminge. September, a real autumn month. Kichitakok. October, spooky switch. Puksit kishu. November, snow month. Weenie kishu. And then real winter month, or December, Kichi Luan. Okay, so Kichi Luan, weenie, puksit, Kichi takok, winaminge, lainipan, kichi nipan, tiny pun, tehemotaeu, shawanamekwi, chikwale, anikusi. All right. So we do have some extra things here that we can talk about, but I don't have like enough questions. We can do the same method that we just did for the months for these, but we're already at 55 minutes. So if you want to go through these, you can. I'll probably try to implement these somehow in like another lesson. Get some basic verbs and say like how many nights ago did this happen? How many days ago did this happen? Rather, how long have you been doing this for? Probably not to 20, or how many days are you going to be staying there? Newi kishku, or how many nights is an extended weekend? Naha kwanak, naha kwanak, or how many days is the weekend, or how long is the weekend? Nishu kwanak, right? Like keha kishku, yeah, keha kishku, weekwek, you weekend. Nishu kwanak, how many days is this weekend? Nishu kwanak, 2 nights, 2 days, right? Kwati kwani, 1 night, okay. Kwati kwani, okay. Kwatu kwani, 2 days, nights ago. Nishu kwanakat. And you can also add piskek to the end of that, and then katene. We're gonna do more stuff with katen because katenami means my name is, or sorry, how old am I? It means like I'm some years old, right? Katenami. We'll go through that later on because we'll do a unit on like asking, being able to express what your birthday is, when your birthday is, and how old someone is, and when their actual birthday is. So we'll be doing stuff like that. But this right here will be good for today. We've already talked about the days of the week. Santeke, manteke, tusteke, lelai, tusteke, politeke, and soteteke, soteteke. And we've also gone through the date. So the date or the time of the year is called Lakim Kwasit. I can't really break this down because I don't really know. It's just the order that they have. So Lakim Kwasit, Kekohech Lakim Kwasit. What is the date? Kekohech Lakim Kwasit, you whatever time, right? You Kishu, the month, you week, this week, you Kishku, this date. And you can say what the date is, Yuko enter Kishqueak, Telen, Ok Nisha, Puksweet Kishu, or, yeah, Puksweet Kishu, Lakim Kwasit, you Kishu. So that means today is the 12th, the date today is the 12th of October. This month's date is the 12th of October. So hopefully this helped you out, and the explanations of the months and the breakdowns of them, and hopefully this helped, and I hope you got a lot of practice. I hope that the words stick. If you need any help with these words, just let me know. We can practice them in the comment section, or you can go into my forum, which is if you want to try my forum out, I mean, you're always welcome to just make an account. It's absolutely free to use. These resources are as free to use. It's free to use the dictionary because it's a native language. I want everybody to be speaking it. All the native sources are pretty much free except the stuff that I had to do special programming for to get, which isn't the paid version. But if you want to just learn along and just tag along, like, you're more than welcome to use the sources. Not all these games are free, but all the basic ones are. So, vocab guessing, flashcards, hangman bingo, all those are free. And I believe matching as well is free. But yeah, you can also go into the flashcards here and, practice the months. If you add them into your vocabulary, and then you can also go into the forum here and click Lenape, and you're more than welcome to put something into this room. You can practice here. Here we write Lenape. Practice little by little. How are you? And you can put all of your stuff in here. And you can write all your stuff in here, and I'm always going to be around, so if you want to practice your words, practice your, I could say like kekohech lakim kwasit, kekohech lakim kwasit, you kishku. You could say something like today's date. You could say something like I was trying to say this in Lenape, but I can't remember how to say respond. Tuchta. Well, that's ask. I'm not worried about it. And you could just say something like, you go into kishqueak. You go into kishqueak. The kishqueak telenok. Nisha. Puxit kish. Or puxit kishu. Yukishku. So today's date, or lakim kwasit. So this is like kekohech lakim kwasit yukishku. What is today's date? You went to Kishkwik today to the Oknisha Puxit Kishu. Today is the 12th of the 12th of October. Or today's date is today's date. And honestly, you don't even need to put kishku here. That's just for extra practice. It's honestly duplicate. You could say what's the date today. You could just say today is the 12th of October, or the 12th of October is today's date. You could say you went to kishku telenoknisha puxui kishu. Today is the 12th of October. Or you can say lakim kwasit yukish. Lakim kwasit yukishku telenoknisha puxit kishku. And honestly, you don't even need to put kishku because we're gonna know what you're talking about in here, but through the context alone. So lakim kwasit yukishku telenoknisha puxit. All right. So if you want to follow in here, I've shown you how to go to the forum, how to find what we're doing, and if you need an extra room, we can always make an extra thread in here. And eventually we'll have a search in here, but for now, you can just practice in here if you want to practice. And if you want some additional practice, you can go into personal notes, and you could just write whatever, write whatever in here. So if you've been following along up to this point, thank you for joining for the lesson. Hopefully more people will be joining and practicing their Lenape. Native or non-native, it doesn't matter. People just need to get in here and use these languages, because all languages that are not used want to be used, I'm convinced. So thank you everybody for watching, supporting, and I will see everybody in the next recording session.